Alright guys, this is going to be Rogue Mystic Divination doing the weekly tarot reading for all signs. Everyone is going to be in this reading, and it's going to be a little bit shorter because I'm not really getting the views and the feedback and stuff on the longer videos for each sign, so for the weekly. So I know we're still working on getting the view count up and the subscriber count up, so thank you for your patience. But whenever I get a little bit more views and comments and likes and stuff on that stuff, I will be sure to make them longer. But for efficiency's sake, and because I am doing the dailies, for a while am going to be doing the weekly readings like this. Each sign is going to get 3 cards or more for the energy of the week, and everything will be time-stamped in the first comment below. So thank you guys for sticking around and dealing with me changing things up. This is still a fairly new channel, and I'm coming up on the anniversary on the 16th of April. So thank you guys very much for tuning in and putting up with all of the changes and me kind of learning as I go. So here we go with our first for the collective for the week of April 7th through the 13th, and here we go. Alright, for the collective for the week, and I'll be pulling more for clarification if I feel like I need to, but if not, we are getting at least 3 per sign. So and that's probably about as good as it's going to get right now. But for the week, for the collective, for everyone tuning in, we've got the Queen of Cups in the upright, the Queen of Swords in the reverse, and the Two of Pentacles in reverse. For everyone involved right now, I do believe that there's a lot of emotional, head over heart kind of arguments going on. You want to follow your intuition, you want to be compassionate, but you also know that business needs to get done, and it may be hard to contain your frustration. Partially because you are burnt out, you're overworked, and once you start getting the momentum that you need to get something done, someone comes in and is like, hey, I need you to handle this, and it's almost as though you don't have enough time to say, no, I'm busy. They just come in long enough to take the wind out of your sails and almost make you not be able to get anything done. There is a chance that someone is intentionally sabotaging you with this, especially if this is at work and not in your personal day-to-day life, but they may be trying to pile all the work on you or intentionally screwing something up to make you look bad. And it's possible that this person is either vying for your job or vying for a promotion somehow. And that's just because it's the Queen of Cups, it's 2 women, they're both facing the same way. One is trying to stay centered and have a clear head and be understanding, and the other one is it almost seems as though she's trying to manipulate something into being through her word, through her dictation, because the queens both, there's a power struggle going on here, and that's why there's this infinite loop of tasks being passed back and forth, and almost like it's never good enough for one person whenever the other person is just trying to ensure that everything is getting done, not just one project. So You may end up finding that someone else has you juggling something for them, and while they're trying to hide their feelings, you're trying to handle everything that's being given to you. However, there's going to have to be a line that is drawn in the sand at some point. You may have to go back to your job description and see what exactly it is that you are meant to be doing and how much of their work are they really giving to you. And because this is a lot right now, because with everyone right now, all three of the figures in these cards are facing to the left. They're all facing towards the past. They're all doing things that's just causing things to backslide, and almost like they're undoing their own work whenever they're trying to make progress. So there is a new partnership that's going to be coming in. However, it's not going to... It's not really going to settle some of these emotional upheavals that are going on because of this. In one way, with the Two of Cups, you could almost say that there's... that maybe this other person is like the Knight of Wands out of his armor. On the one side facing the water sign. However, water can smother fire and fire can evaporate water. So any partnerships that are started this week may end up just exhausting each other. Almost as though no one is really going to be happy this week with partnerships, whether they're from the past or from just starting in the present. And great, that's just more that is just more reinforcement of this. So beware of someone coming in and trying to make your life easier. Unless there's a point where you find out where all this work is coming from, where all of this responsibility is coming from, that you somehow manage to keep getting handed, and you may even be too busy to see who's handing it to you at some point. Like, there's something going on to where collective, you may be sitting at your desk and get up to get coffee or use the restroom, and then you come back and all of a sudden there's a new stack on your desk. And it doesn't mean that you have to work in an office, but just that idea, that's the imagery that I'm getting, is like as soon as you turn your back and focus on trying to get something done, more just keeps piling up and piling up to the point where you don't even know where it's coming from anymore. By the end of the week, I do believe that because there's all of these swords, that you're going to realize that it's affecting you emotionally and giving you an extreme case of anxiety, and you're going to end up redefining what is it your role is. And if your role suddenly has increased to a lot more work, it may be time for your job to be reassessed somehow, your pay grade to be reassessed somehow, and this could end up with you requiring them to hire on some more people or divvy up the workload in a different way. So a lot of emotion, a lot of communication, just to ensure that you are communicating effectively and you know where things are coming from. If you can't figure out where they're coming from, then where some of these opinions are coming from too. There may be a chance that you are also maybe even taking your emotions, all this anxiety out on somebody else, or somebody is doing this to you, and ensure that you understand that it's not necessarily them, but these other sources that are causing this anxiety. So, yep, I'm going to try and leave that there, but here we go. For Fucus. Trying to make progress, but you may be held back by some close relationships due to a heartbreak. Like you're trying to fix one of these relationships, and it's almost as though you have one foot out the door. Ensure that you're not taking the responsibility or the blame for something that's not your fault. Okay. And understand that if someone is putting you in a corner, that they're doing it intentionally. Yeah, this might be a relationship that's just not working out because they are starting fights so they can blame you for a breakup or for something not working out. A lot of swords right along there with the collective reading. We've got the five of swords, the page of swords in reverse, the 2 of swords in the upright, and the 3 of swords in reverse. So don't let someone else convince you that you're at fault for something whenever you're not. This could just really be the sign that it's time for you to move on from this relationship, this location, this job. Whatever it is that's causing you this amount of turmoil because other people refuse to communicate and refuse to be genuine about what's going on. It's likely that they want a certain outcome, but they don't want to be responsible for it, and that's why all this argument is going on. So, Aries. Big emphasis on strength for you and understanding what rules it is that you're following. You may have to reestablish exactly what it is that you want and what lengths it is that you're willing to go to get that. Just like with the collective reading, though, there's going to be a lot of strength that people rely on you to have, and it's going to get to a point where you start defining the rules and regulations to which people can contact you and have conversations with you, especially whenever they're constantly requesting either time, energy, money, whatever this is from you. And it's important that you start to draw boundaries before they take it too far. There's nothing wrong with being overly protective of yourself and those directly associated with you. It's also possible that someone is, or a group of people are trying to lean on your significant other and require that your significant other does a lot that they really don't need to be doing. And it may be you that steps in between all of this after you get word of everything that's been going on or that is going on. So possibly you will be stepping in and drawing some lines and putting up some barriers to keep some dissension from entering your house. Taurus, this is your weekly. A new beginning, a new start somehow, but it's not from taking responsibility for something. It's letting something or someone else do what it is that they need to do, because we have the Sun in reverse and the Emperor. It doesn't feel like you are the Emperor in this instance, but somebody else who is bringing energy in and being very decisive about what it is that they are doing, looking to get results over letting things just stay stagnant. This is going to put you into a point of optimism, or into the emotion of optimism, and to the point where, especially, everyone needs to watch a collective, but ensure that you're not being careless and just expecting this person, because they appear to have all this energy to come in and get this done and get that done, and like they're checking things off the list left and right. It's possible that they're doing it for themselves. Just because they seem like they've got a good momentum going on and they're very capable right now, ensure that you don't take a position of arrogance and carelessness and just expect them to handle things for you. And certainly do not expect them to read your mind and assume that they know what it is that you need done and what you need help with. This does look like this is a capable individual and someone that almost like they're running around with like a chicken with their head cut off. So just because they're putting a lot of miles on those feet does not mean that they are anywhere near as productive as they may look. So yeah, it feels like there's a tendency to assume that someone has something handled and they don't. If this is a responsibility of yours, ensure that you have it taken care of and don't expect them to read your mind or just take care of it, and if at all possible, do it yourself. If not, there could be some issues with something being not completely started or filed, or you may end up losing an opportunity expecting someone else to take care of something. However, on the flip side of this, that does look like there's a partnership that you may be willing to benefit from, but you're going to have to go with the flow and understand that there is a twain the two shall meet kind of a thing going on, but you have your set of things that you need to deal with, and this person or these other people have things that they need to deal with, and it doesn't mean that you can't cooperatively work together, but there needs to be a lot of communication. Do not assume somebody knows something when there is really no reason why you should be expecting them to know. And Gemini. Okay, you may find that you have to be the devil's advocate this week somehow. Working with the King of Wands, there is progress to be made. However, fences, boundaries need to remain firm. Just because you have the resources does not mean everyone around you is privy to them. It's shown that somebody isn't taking advantage of something that you have that you're not aware of. Yeah, because they may think that something that you have is an option for them. However, this isn't a free shopping spree or a free for all that they may think that it is. Yeah, we've got the King of Wands in the reverse, and it's likely that someone's going to come in and expect answers from you, and it's going to take you off guard. It's going to catch you off guard to the point of, excuse me? Because of how invasive these questions are, and it's just going to reinforce the fact that someone may have gotten a little bit too close for your liking, or thought they had had advantages with you that they don't, privileges with you that they don't, and just some more reassertion for you to make, Gemini. Cancer, this is your weekly. Money coming in, prosperity coming in, but it's somebody that doesn't want to bring it to you that's being charged to. This is someone that has a boss and they are doing somebody else's bidding. They are going to have to get over it, though. There's some kind of emotional transitions that are going to be made, but if there is money coming into you this week from this Knight of Cups coming in, and yeah, he does not look like he is happy about this at all. Now, there's two sides to this. He could be coming in and asking for money or giving you money from somebody else, Cancer, and this is going to allow you to put some things behind you. But this person is difficult. Most likely someone that you may not even recognize, but they feel like they know you without actually knowing you. Possibly someone that's been watching you. If you have a channel, they've been watching you on your channel, your social media, stuff like that, and it's like they're communicating something from the Queen of Wands. Someone who's trying to nurture something within you, Cancer, or give you the ability to do something. It is likely this is supposed to help everyone get over the water under the bridge, but it's just a stepping stone. And it does feel like there is this Queen of Pentacles is trying to make a reconnection. So even if they're not female and they're male, this is someone who is coming in with a nurturing attitude. But this Knight of Cups may be the person bringing you the message about this. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow the message gets misconstrued. But because of this Knight of Cups opinion, but it does look like there is some money or some opportunity coming in that's going to lead to a lot of money for you this week, Cancer. Virgo, for the week. Okay, this is a let sleeping dogs lie and get over it. Could possibly be time for you to mend some broken fences with some of your associates, some of the people that you are familiar with that you haven't talked to in a while. And sure, you're not just reliving the past, but actually building on to a new relationship and moving things forward rather than constantly just reliving old memories, reliving the good old days, 10, 20 years ago. It's great to hold on to the basis or the core relationship, but things have to progress and move on at some point, and there is a chance for you to build foundations, but if you don't support that growth and give us scaffolding to grow upwards and get out of the position that it's currently in, it's never going to go anywhere else, and at some point things need to mature. There is also the chance that somebody could come in or all of this down here could be starting off a connection with the Knight of Swords, someone that you've known, but that has gone off and done something that you haven't, gotten some kind of accolades that you haven't, and they're coming back to reconnect with you to see what's going on, and nothing may have changed with you, Virgo. Out of this, they could give you an opportunity or give you an avenue to where you could advance something, but it's up in the air whether or not you're going to take it. So ensure that you're understanding and that you and them are communicating clearly. There is that chance that you could be sitting there like, oh, well, I didn't understand that was what was going on, and if I'd known that, I would have taken the opportunity, but I didn't, so I didn't. Don't pass the buck and say that, well, they didn't say it right, or pay attention to what's being said. Pay attention to what's being offered and understand what you're saying no to. Libra, this is your weekly, and that one just popped out, so dealing with someone with money. The importance of working on something with you. I do believe this is going to be working on your health and your well-being and getting your energy back up to snuff. It's likely that you have enough in savings now that you can take a week off, but I don't see you going anywhere. It may look to the outside person as though you are getting away with murder, getting away with not doing work, with putting yourself above other people. However, it's because they don't know everything that's going on with you. Now, it does look like it's very important that you take the time that you need to recover physically, emotionally, mentally, and do more than answer to other people, because it doesn't matter where you're at. Somebody's going to see you doing something and make all kinds of assumptions. So, Libra, work on making yourself feel better, and if somebody thinks that you're getting away with something, then you're getting away with being yourself and taking care of you, which is something you should be able to do anyway. Scorpio. Alright, dealing with some fiery personalities, but they're fiery because they're trying to make progress. And if you have any regret right now, it may be letting go of this other person who's just doesn't have a problem being on their own, and they may have, if they offer you an opportunity, a business deal, a relationship, and you say no, you're going to regret it. I'm not saying you have to take this opportunity, this relationship, but you may regret it later on. She may be the one that got away, or he may be the one that got away if this person is really gung-ho about being with you or working with you. Right now, it doesn't look like you'll have any competition, but yeah. Just because you don't have competition right now doesn't mean you won't always have, doesn't mean that the way will always be clear. It is right now, but you could find that your insecurity is really peaked if you see them involved with somebody else. So take the opportunity while you can, otherwise you may regret it later on. Sagittarius. Things being unbalanced are actually going to lead to you getting something that you want, getting a wish answered or fulfilled by someone practical. And if it's not somebody else coming in and granting your wish, it is your manifestations coming in. And yeah, if not your manifestations coming in, it's going to be either premonitions or something going from a dead stop to to you being off at the races. Everything happening so fast you can barely make a decision, a conscious decision. Just yes, no, black, white, left, right. And if you've been in a stall pattern lately, that's why. You've been meant to rest up and be prepared for this quick action that's going to be required of you. Capricorn. You started at 30-30, so you're going to be obtaining something, but it's not necessarily going to be something that you want. You may feel as though it's unfair and you're getting cut out of something or getting less of something than you were promised. If you feel slighted at all, it's because someone had you doing a lot of work in order to get something that they told you that you already deserved, and it could be that you are getting something for the work that you've been putting in, but it's not what you were promised or what you assumed you were getting. This is somebody else putting themselves in the position where they have judged your character or judged the work that you've been doing, and it doesn't mean you haven't been doing enough. It just means that they want to include somebody else in this, and even though they didn't put the work in, they still deemed it necessary for them to get something. And that's what has you feeling that this is unfair. It almost makes it feel like you are being left out of something, but you're not. Regardless, something will be over soon, and that includes all the work that you've been doing will be done. The purpose of whatever this was is over, and soon you'll be walking away from a completed project. Aquarius, this is your daily tarot, or not your daily, dear God. This is your weekly. I don't know how I got on that. But for the week, a new emotional relationship or a new emotional start with somebody because you're trying one more time, and even though you've been kept back by what you were taught or directed to be true, you always felt like there was something wrong about this, especially if there were proprietary sources of this information that you were getting this from, but not that they were trying to make you feel a certain way, but they were giving you information that made you feel a certain way. Like there was no point in you handling something or getting involved in something. However, you decide to forego any of these, I hate to say it, naysayers that tell you that you should just let it go, and you this is you saying, screw that, I'm going to reach out and see what comes of it, and nothing comes of it, then you're not going to be disappointed, but you still want to try. It doesn't feel like you're the one that's resisting the change. It's somebody else around you because they're afraid of the outcome. However, this is going to cause things to change for you and maybe even move things in a direction that you did not previously think was possible, Aquarius. And Pisces. You are going to have a choice that you have to make in private, because somebody else is trying to manipulate a situation. However, they are misaligned to your values, and they do not have the same emotional commitment to something that you do. You've been manifesting something, and now that it's come in, it may lead to a new financial future for you, but things are still up in the air a little bit because there's still some actions that you need to commit to. And it's going to cause some heartache for the people around you, but it's only because you're standing up for yourself and you have a new idea about what possibilities may be in front of you, and you have the energy to act on them. Act on what it is that you want and not what somebody else wants for you or from you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Everything is timestamped below. Make sure that you leave a comment and you keep checking the dailies. I am doing my best to keep up on those, so thank you for tuning in one last time, and I will see you guys next time. If you made it to the end of this, thank you, and have a great week.